Yeah, I've seen comments on my channel from Globers that say we do the same observations over and over again, hoping to get a different result. Well, the fact is that we do, and the fact is that we do is because of visibility limits. On days that we have great visibility, we can see well beyond what science claims that we are able to see. Say a man standing 6 foot tall on the shore can only see 3 miles to the horizon. Now, what about a man at 28 inches or a little bit above? All depending on where I'm setting my camera, but on all of these videos that I'm producing, they were all done at 28 inches, sometimes a little closer to the water and sometimes a little bit further back. But this one was done just recently, within the last few days. Actually, I did it this week, and it's amazing that on certain days you get all this distortion, haze, illumination of the background, and all of this does block out your visibility. And um, obviously, when you do these observations over and over again, you do get different results, no matter what they say. I've been at the same height, same location, filming boats coming out of the Bayport or the Hernando Beach channel, able to see boats completely out of the water. And then other days, these same boats will look like they're being cut off um, at a very high. On some days, more than others, they're cut off. But again, on those days where you got great visibility, those boats are not cut off. And just like the videos that I just mirrored from the 54321 Truth channel, obviously he does a great job in showing you the different visibility limits on different days throughout different times. Now, the best time for me in Florida is usually our winter months where the water temperature and the air temperature are coinciding together or pretty close to each other. Now, this one was done on a different day, uh, pretty much in the same spot, not exactly in the same spot, but there's a little, like a boat ramp area at the park where people can launch kayaks or canoes. And this day, obviously, I got a little better visibility. I mean, a little less distortion, I should say, but also a little better visibility. So my visibility is a little bit better, a little clearer, without all the major distortion that we get a lot of times. And again, that distortion, the distorted horizon will hide objects. And you'll see where um, on that first one there was no islands at all. At least I hope I put the right one there. You could not see any islands at all in the background. Also, I'm going to do a video on this power plant stack and the power plant itself, because I've taken multiple pictures and videos of these on different days, different atmospheric conditions, or what I call weather conditions, because we're not on a sphere. Um, at least in my eyes, we're not, because if you follow science, you will find that it's not true science. It's a belief system that somebody created some science back in, a long time ago, and it was just followed because it matched what they wanted you to think, that you live on this spinning ball. The kings and queens went to their balls. They created balls um, to take away your balls, and for the women to take away your mind, and men take away not only our balls but our minds too, to put us in a belief system to where um, we won't even believe our own eyes, our own observations. But on this particular day, you can see the islands, and this is the funny thing is these islands look much smaller at times, and then at other times they look much bigger, and that's where I bring in the magnification effects that occur at different levels. So you can have a different level of magnification on a farther object like the power plant, which is 27.6 miles away, and these islands, which are the farthest one is 6 miles away, and that's the one to the far left. There's 3 islands there. I can't remember all their names, but one of them is Sheephead Island, which is the closest one. Um, but the other islands are, like 5 miles and then 6 miles. Um, but then I'm gonna show you a video of a day I had really good visibility, and show you the cell phone footage of where I got my camera set, so you can determine yourself on what I'm actually showing. I am in that little cut area right here, and I even show you that my tripod is right at the edge of the water. All right, here comes that cell phone footage that I told you about. I'm showing you with my cell phone this little cut right through here, and I'll show you that this land extends further and further out. There's even other islands you're able to see today, as the visibility's allowing for it. And that's the end of the land, folks. Just wish I could see a boat out there. But I'm going to show you these islands. There's the first island with land behind it. The second island, land behind it. And here comes the third island with land behind it. And there's the corner. That's what I'm looking at, folks, right there. And again, here's water washing up to my lens. And my camera's at 28 inches. That's one of the things I like doing, is doing these low perspective observations, and then comparing them. Now I've got, I've got a massive load of video, pictures, proofs, whatever you want to call them. That it really is a hard task for me to just go through my footage to find things to do comparisons with. But when I do, obviously, you can see this land that's well beyond these islands, which you do not normally see. This was really an excellent day of visibility. Is there any optical effects that are occurring? Yes. Things are getting probably stretched up a little bit, but again, have you, I mean, the globe zealots all defend this with saying that this is refraction, this magical force of light bending and pulling something up from behind the backside of the curve. Now, all of this stuff falls off the curve on a bad day of visibility, is visible on a good day of visibility, and this is well beyond what science claims that we should be able to see for a 6-foot man, let alone being at 28 inches above the water. So again, you have to, as a person, decide on your own whether to trust your government, trust dead men, dead scientists that you'll never meet, or trust people that claim that refraction is really true, that you'll never meet, never have any knowledge of, never know, but you will accept and trust and believe them more than you will believe your own eyes, which, if you do that, you are actually brainwashed. You might not know it, but you've been programmed to accept the belief system that they've set upon you through your educational system, through your indoctrination, because that's what it is. It's an indoctrination system. Because when you actually go out and do these observations yourself and you see the truth for yourself, you have no other choice but to start accepting the fact that they've been lying to you for a much longer period of time than you'll ever know. This goes well beyond our age. This goes back to your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents, where slowly but surely they've taken away your ability to think for yourself and to accept what you see with your own naked eyes or with your own eyes through these that's what I said. We had the technology back in the day when the scientists were doing these observations. Would they have really brought out refraction as this magical force pulling things up above the curvature of Earth and not visibility limits? Being that our technology is so much better, um, now what you're seeing here is the distortion. You're seeing this being distorted. Why? It's not because it's being magically popped up above, because the distortion rate is at a much further distance than normal. Okay, because a lot of times on bad days of visibility, the stuff that's closer to me is distorted just like this. But today, on this particular day, everything beyond is visible, and it's really pretty clear that it's visible, but yet everything beyond it is what's distorted and does have some optical effects occurring. Now, what's great about this is I actually have video where I've actually took my boat up to these islands and took some video of this background, and you will see some of the cuts in it. Now, I didn't really concentrate on this background, but the next time I have my boat up in this area, I will do a little bit more zooming in. But the problem with being in your boat and trying to video is your boat moves and you're rocking and you're shaking. So the hardest part for me is to find a place where I can actually set my camera down in a sturdy place and be able to film and show you this background is what's there. I've fished this area. This is one of my biggest stomping grounds for fishing. Um, caught some big trout up there, snook, redfish, up in this general area around Sheephead Island. So for you guys that are fishing in Florida, stay out of my spot. uh, but no, honestly, this is what I see when I'm up that way, and it's pretty clear that I am seeing these land masses that are beyond what I should be able to see by science. Now, your globe zealots will say, "Oh no, you should be able to see that," and blah blah blah. They let me tell you, these globe zealots will try to discourage you, which they have with me several times to the point where I was about ready to give up. But one of the things that I said was, if I can help one person wake up to these lies and this deception that's been going on for many, many moons, um, I'm doing a good job. Okay, because that's what we're about, is to wake people up. And one of the things is right now, flat Earth isn't really even the most important thing. The scamdemic that's happening right now is actually more important, because to me it is it's a depopulation of people. Why are they doing this? It's because we are waking up. Tons and tons of people, even though the globe zealots will say nobody's waking up to shit, which I just read a comment the other day that nobody's waking up to nothing because there's nothing there to see. Really? Well, what's this? What am I seeing? I'm seeing well beyond what I should be able to see at a 28-inch observational height, because some of this land mass is probably um, well, I know that last island that I see is 6 miles away, and this is much further away, by several miles, if not even more, because I'm seeing even further into the background, further islands that when I'm up that way are actually getting blocked out by the closer islands that are there. And the power plant video that I got from being up there is pretty amazing too, because it actually shows you that particular day that I was up there, things were being cut off big time. Why? Because I didn't have a good day of visibility. But every time I do get this great day of visibility, I'm seeing well beyond what science claims I should be able to see. Now, all these people say, well, you're using the wrong calculations, but they give you some bullshit thing that, oh, you got to use these calculations or those calculations. Well, why is there so many sites you can go to that has an Earth curve calculator, and then you go and use AutoCAD too, and AutoCAD gives you the same results as what these Earth curve calculators are giving you? But yet they want to tell you that, um, we're using the wrong method of math to figure out our distances and what we should and should not be able to see. But it's obvious the fact that they'll show you a boat being cut off and they'll say, see, that's curvature. But yet they don't bring up the fact that there's optical effects that occur that will actually do that, like I have. I mean, I've showed plenty of footage of boats being cut off, but then show you a boat out much, much further from even a lower perspective, because there's a little observation deck out here at the Pine Island plant, or at Pine Island Park. And I've been up on that observation deck on a good, on a, again, what I call a bad day of visibility, and you couldn't see the islands to the north of me. You couldn't see the Hernando Beach Islands to the south of me. So did they just fall off the curve automatically or suddenly, or is that where they should be all the time? And I'm just seeing refraction pulling everything up above the curvature of Earth. Not once have I seen an honest um, test done by a glober showing that this refraction works. They use propane to fool people, and then they get 100 people, thousands of people come in there and say, "Oh yeah, well, great way to prove it." Yeah, he faked you, he tricked you, and then you accept his trick as being truth. There's not propane or butane. Actually, it was butane. There's not butane over the oceans. Okay, we don't have butane causing refraction. And I'll tell you too. I can tell you exactly how they did that test, but I'll let you figure that out on your own if you can find that video. But this is true observations, and this is truth that you're actually seeing what you're seeing with your eyes. There's no refraction popping shit up above the curve. There's no magical force that does this. It all has to do with visibility and the weather conditions on that particular day. Now, I'm waiting for one day that I get even really better visibility and be able to see this land mass much clearer and at its normal size, because I do know about how these optical effects can stretch, compress, and cause the whole horizon to rise up and down. And that's all it's doing, is it's either cutting it off or giving you the actual visibility, where everything beyond is shows, so it looks like it's going up and down, up and down. But you do also have these optical effects called towering, where it does stretch things, and I do believe that this is being stretched a little bit, but you are actually seeing the land masses. They are there. It's just on the other days you can't see them because of the distortion, the atmosphere being illuminated by the light, causing a blockage, which, of course, you can see that on some of my other videos of these three islands, where all this land mass beyond it is being cut off by illumination of, I'm going to use the word atmosphere, okay? Because most people are familiar with that term, atmosphere. So we're going to say in the atmosphere, um, this distortion can either hide, or this illumination can be hidden behind that light. And that's exactly how I see it, and how all my observations have been proven it to myself, if not anybody else. Um, so on a real bright, clear day, it's actually that light refraction or reflection off the atmosphere that is causing a whiteout of the background to where you cannot see it. Again, I leave it up to you as the viewer to decide for yourself. I am not trying to push my belief of a flat earth onto you. I'm just showing you my proof of why I know that earth is not a sphere like we've been taught and told by pseudoscience. The pseudoscience. Now, is there good science out there? Yes. I do not say that all science is bad. There is good science out there, but you got to be the one that determines which is right and which is wrong. Thanks for watching.